Welcome back to my YouTube channel here at FlareFX, where we make trading simple. Yet another week of a weekly breakdown. This week I'll be breaking down gold and Nasdaq, so stay tuned to the end. And if you're new, make sure to hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell. And if you're still here, welcome back, Flare family. It's always good to have you back. Alright, so as we get started, I'll start off with gold. Last week we predicted the way it was gonna move, and gold hasn't been really volatile, but it has been respecting our zone. Before I get started, I just want to make sure that anybody who's still interested in the funded next and wanting to get funded, please just make sure you click the link in my bio. Make sure you do purchase the account, and then afterwards you'll be added into the group, like I did post on the YouTube shorts as much as it is. Check my Instagram as well if you are interested in getting funded, so you can know the details steps by steps, right? But other than that, let's just get started, right? So this is gold. You can obviously see it's in a downtrend, as we have clearly stated before, like even last week, right? So now let me just do this. Let me put back all the drawings back again, so we can see what I have been seeing, right? So last week we predicted that this zone of gold will come over here, kind of respected, push all the way down, right? We were anticipating gold to come all the way to this low, right? But it hasn't. So the possibility of it happening, I still see it for sure, because we have changes of character on the lower time frames. But for the people who haven't watched the last video, the link will be put over here on top, right? But for now, clearly a downtrend. Here's a zone that we've highlighted. Here's an order block that we anticipated it's going to respect, right? Let's tap into the lower time frames just to see how it's moving, right? So all of this was trendline liquidity. All of this is trendline liquidity. Then we're just anticipating that price was going to respect this order block, which it did, right? Price purge went down, then there was a purge of liquidity that happened. Price proceeded to melt and then came up again, right, to respect an order block that happened here on the 15-minute time frame. Let me tap into the 15-minute. So on the 15-minute time frame, this is an order block that I've seen. Clearly this one, the last one, so it initially started relatively over here, so we'll just put over here, right? Let me clean it up just a little bit more. Yeah, so I saw the anticipation. So this is how it looks on the lower time frames, as much as it is. Let's go to the 1 hour. So yeah, this is an order block that it had respect, right? So we were anticipating something along these lines, and it moving the way it did. So obviously NFP hit, and the way the market moved was a bit impulsive. So just waiting it out, I still feel like there is a bit of movement all the way to the down, because look at this. This is clean liquidity. All of this is called trendline liquidity, everything purging below. And then now we're anticipating the price will go a bit lower. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame just for relativity. So as clearly this is trendline liquidity purged, right? So same situation with this one. We're anticipating a trendline liquidity, same situation. And then this is a take profit number one, and then we're anticipating that price will come into this zone over here, right? We could even remove this just for a bit of cleanliness. Let's just move it over here, right? So we can anticipate price to maybe move into this demand zone over here, relatively over here. So this is where I would be planning on buying gold, yeah, as soon as it moves a little bit lower. So this is obviously take profit one. In terms of entry, right, in terms of entry, gold has been a little bit stubborn, because of, look, this is a really choppy market as much as it is. So waiting for Monday to happen. So for what I would really love to see is price actually breaking out of the trend line and then coming back into the zone where the order block has been printed, because the price is going to play around this point. We catch some sorts of entry over here all the way to the lower, right, to the downside, and then afterwards catching the pips and the movements the best possible way we can. But with gold, the anticipation is still the same. We're still seeing downward movement, but I think for NFP it's just a bit impulsive, especially for NFP week. NFP week is always tricky, especially trading in towards that Friday. So I think being patient, seeing how it moves, especially throughout the week, is most definitely something I think you should do. Right now, let's go over to Nasdaq so you can see how it moves. Right, all right, so this is Nasdaq, right? Nasdaq, overall there was a bullish trend. We are in a bullish trend. We could classify this as a continuation pattern, right? We all know this is kind of a flag pattern. This is on the daily time frame, so this is very severe, and we could anticipate that this is the move initially that is happening, that price wants to break out of the continuation. And plus, the end of the year is coming. Probably the market's going to move very nice. Let's just clean this thing out a little bit just to make it a little bit relatively clean. But yeah, I see a downtrend. Let's do it like this, clean cut finish. So we are in a downtrend, this being the most recent high, this being the most recent low, right? breaking this low as well. You get what I mean? So we are in a downtrend, but us understanding that this is a reversal pattern, hence why I said how to trade SMC and retail concepts. You understand that even if SMC concepts are telling you that we are breaking lower and lower, there are some sorts of things that we can see that are telling us, hey man, like this is a continuation pattern, right? So we understand that, right? So I think we could probably mark out structure as best as we possibly can over here. We could classify this as a higher time frame change of character. Obviously the change of character happened on the lower time frames, but just for reference, right? So this is the recent high that I see. This is the most recent low. Let's tap into the 4 hours so we can relatively see what's happening, right? So price did create this low. Price came over to this point, melted, respected this trend line, right? Hence we could put this over here. Now we are also approaching a very sensitive zone, right? Like Nasdaq really respects these trend lines. Nasdaq really respects these trend lines as much as it is. So understanding when it gets to this point, understanding what to do and how to anticipate and how to execute, right? So right now, the way it literally came to the trend line is very impulsive, but here's the most interesting thing, right? This is also on the 4 hour time frame. It does look very impulsive. Going on to the lower time frames to kind of understand, hey man, like what am I seeing? What is really happening, right? Let's step into the 2 hour. Maybe we can see a bit of cleaner price action. Because look at what we're working with. This is just choppiness, like the whole way. Price did melt, but in a very, very, very like correctively, right? So now let's go to the 1 hour. Let's see if maybe it does clean up a little bit. Okay, now things look a little bit better. Let's see. At this point, this order block is the most interesting one that I'm seeing. This one over here. Mainly because it's the one that continued the whole downtrend. Look at this. After this order block, everything just continued to do whatever it done. There is a bit of mitigations here and there, but for now, I think this is the most relative one for me. Then I'll highlight this over here to the top. They will classify this as a purge of liquidity for those that don't understand. So, okay, cool. Let's just mark out this order block as clean as I possibly can. We move it all the way to the right, and it also matches up with that thing. Okay, clean cut perfection, right? So right now, also us understanding that we are in a correction, basically a flag pattern, right? A continuation pattern, and we know that overall the price will eventually break to go higher and higher, right? But also let's just check how we can also execute on the lower time frames, because some of us are swing traders, some of us are intraday traders, right? So some people just want to catch those small 60 pips, 80 pips, and some of us want to catch the 600s and the 700 pips, right? So let's tap into maybe the 15-minute time frame. I think that would be a bit more cleaner because we are looking for entries. Let's go to the 5-minute because it is a bit choppy. Yo, Nasdaq is not playing with us this week. Okay, yeah. So in retrospect, this is what I see, right? There is a reversal pattern over here. This is called a rising wedge that I can clearly see. So we can highlight this as well, like this. And it's relatively clean cut finish into the order block, relatively around the trend line. Price did break out. I think the most standout order block is probably the one that did purge liquidity over here. Obviously it happened on the lower time frame. Tapping into the 1 minute is something I don't like doing, but it's something I can do, right? Tapping into the 1 minute is something I can do. So look, price did came over to this point, melted. This is where the initial change of character happened. This is happening on the 1 minute time frame. So understand the value this thing holds, right? It's not really as heavy as the 15 minutes, as the 1 hour time frame. So anything taken here should be taken in a pinch of grain of salt, but it doesn't mean that you can't execute, right? So for me, looking at this thing, right, price did break this structure, but it didn't break it impulsively. All of this is liquidity, but there's really no movement as quickly as it did. But here's the order block that I'm mostly interested in, right? I could probably highlight this whole zone over here, mainly because we are on the 1 hour 1 minute time frame. Let's just do it like this. Maybe it's gonna highlight the thing, the middle, just relatively by the middle. Hopefully it does. Right there, you see. So I think executing from there, let's see how it looks on the 5 minute time frame. Probably is gonna highlight the whole of, okay, yeah. So relatively, I think this is a place where you could execute as the Monday opens. This could be your take profit one for sure, because as much as it is, we know for a fact that we are in a bullish market. as much as we are in a downtrend with the structure, as much as structure is telling us that we are in a downtrend, we understand that we are in a bull flag and it's a continuation pattern. So understanding that in retrospect makes it easier for us to execute, right? So my anticipation for Nasdaq is that it could come to this point, respect this order block that we spotted on the 1 minute time frame, right? As soon as it respects that order block, you could wait for the confirmational entry, right? Confirmational entry, there's a video that I did post. If you want to know how to take confirmational entries, it is in the link in the bio and it is in the thing. I'll just put the link on top over here as well. Then immediately once price respects this zone, then we can see all the price melts all the way to this point over here, right? Price will relatively get to the 90%, so maybe moving the take profit a little bit higher relatively over here. Let's see something on the 4-hour time frame. Maybe the zone will kind of pick out where we should take profit. So looking at the way things look over here, this is a very, very sensitive zone as much as it is. Here you go. So we could be looking into this order block actually. So let me remove like this, fix this change of character that happened over here. All right, this is an order block that we could look into, come into and tap into, because there is a purge of liquidity on the lower time frames. But for us understanding that now, we can see that, okay, cool, in retrospect, this could be our take profit 1, this one over here, right? And then this could be our take profit 2 relatively over here, right? And these are all in specific zones. Obviously this is on the 15-minute time frame. Everything looks a bit messy, but understanding the higher time frame, when you know where the higher time frame is doing, tapping into the lower time frames is understandable if you know what you're doing and understand the way the market moves, right? Understanding mainly we're taking these sales because the Nasdaq did respect this thing, so we're just expecting a slight pullback into these zones maybe, and then afterwards price looking for price to kind of soar higher and higher. You get what I mean? But thank you for watching this video to this far. If you still are interested in the funded next, the link is in my bio. Immediately once you purchase the account and send me the proof of payment, then you'll be added into a group of 50 other traders that trade like you, so you can get funded. Don't waste this opportunity. It's only lasting until the 15th of December. So take your time to get that racks up and then let's trade this market together. But other than that,